You ever wonder why something that takes just 5 minutes can haunt your mind for years? Why a habit so easy, so private, can silently reshape how you see love, connection, even yourself? Let's talk about porn, but not in the way you think. We're not here to shame or shock, we're here to understand. Because behind every tab, every click, every secret session, there's a real human being. Maybe it's your friend, your partner, maybe it's you, someone with questions, confusion, curiosity, or even guilt. So who gets affected the most? Turns out, it's not just teens sneaking a peek at adult content. Adults, couples, even seniors. Anyone can fall into a spiral when real intimacy starts getting replaced by pixels and performance. So what's actually happening when you watch? Most people think it's just about the visuals, but your brain doesn't see porn as just a video. The moment you hit play, your brain gets flooded with dopamine, the same chemical that drives addiction to substances like cocaine. Now here's the twist. Watching alone might cause a minor spike, but the second you touch yourself, the brain's response doesn't just increase, it explodes. One researcher even said it's like flipping a switch from mild stimulation to 100x intensity. And that's not even the whole story. Let's rewind the clock. 20 years ago, porn was harder to access. You needed a magazine, a VHS tape, maybe a sketchy rental. Now, it's one click away on your phone, your laptop, even in ads you never asked to see. This instant access changes when people start watching. Kids as young as 11 are seeing content that adults barely understand, and they think it's education. Imagine learning about love from Hollywood action scenes. That's what porn is, except with bodies. Where does it take root? Inside your beliefs, inside your relationships, inside the scripts your brain starts writing without you even realizing. Researchers call it script theory, where repeated media exposure teaches you how sex should look. And if your only exposure is porn, your script becomes one-dimensional, always intense, always perfect, always fast, and, very often, very wrong. Think about this. Most porn doesn't show verbal consent, but it does show nonverbal signals, like body language, that viewers might misinterpret as yes, when in reality, consent should be clear, enthusiastic, and mutual. Where does it take root? Inside your beliefs, inside your relationships, inside the scripts your brain starts writing without you even realizing. Researchers call it script theory, where repeated media exposure teaches you how sex should look. And if your only exposure is porn, your script becomes one-dimensional, always intense, always perfect, always fast, and, very often, very wrong. Think about this. Most porn doesn't show verbal consent, but it does show nonverbal signals, like body language, that viewers might misinterpret as yes, when in reality, consent should be clear, enthusiastic, and mutual. So why does this matter? Because people are hurting. Some feel ashamed, some feel addicted, some can't connect to real partners anymore, and for others, it's a silent battle. They keep returning to it, even when they don't want to. The truth, not everyone who watches porn develops a problem, but some do, and for those people, the pain is real. Studies show that people with strict moral or religious upbringings often feel more distress, not always because they watch more, but because they feel like they've done something wrong. Their shame becomes the prison, not just the habit. And here's another twist. Narcissism, not frequency of viewing, is now being studied as a key predictor of people who believe they're addicted. Why? Because if life isn't going their way, they're more likely to blame outside forces, including the porn industry itself. So, how do you fix this? Not by deleting your browser history, not by swearing it off in frustration. Real change starts with understanding your relationship to it. If someone feels out of control, like they can't stop even when they try, there are signs of problematic porn use. These aren't just made-up terms. The World Health Organization even proposed a diagnosis around compulsive sexual behavior. It includes things like watching longer than intended, failing to cut back despite wanting to, continuing despite negative consequences. And crucially, it's not just guilt from cultural shame. The most effective therapy so far, acceptance and commitment therapy, ACT. It helps people accept their urges without acting on them and commit to a life that's aligned with their values. It's not about saying porn is evil. It's about asking, is this helping you become the person you want to be? Let me leave you with this. A young man once told his therapist, I watch porn because it's the only place I feel wanted. Not aroused, not excited, wanted. That broke the therapist's heart. Because behind the shame, the habit, the addiction, was a boy who never learned to feel safe in love. So if you're watching this and you feel like you're stuck, I want you to know, you're not broken, you're not dirty, you're just human. You deserve love that doesn't disappear when you close the browser. You deserve connection that looks you in the eye. You deserve to feel whole without needing pixels to complete you. If this resonated, share it. Someone out there needs to hear this. And if you're ready to explore deeper, check out the resources in the description below. This isn't about judgment, it's about freedom. And sometimes that starts with a question. What are you really searching for? When you press play,